Welcome to Barts Gaming Corner. Now the summer Steam sale has finished. It's time to look ahead and see what great strategy games will be released this year or in 2024, or some games that are already available for you to play. I used to publish more focused videos on this topic, for instance prioritizing 4x grand strategy in one video and city builders in the next. But this summer I decided to mix it up and give you an overview of some of the best and most interesting upcoming strategy titles in all genres. And as I said, some of these are already available. The Great War Western Front. There are scores and scores of World War II video games ranging from first-person shooters, real-time strategy to grand strategy, but not that many about World War I. Also known as the Great War. The Great War Western Front is a real-time strategy game set during World War I on the Western Front. Well, the hint is in the title. You command the troops on the ground, make tactical decisions on when and where to attack, or when to defend, just like in any war game. But at the same time you make the strategic decisions as well. You need to allocate your resources, know which type of troops to train and develop new technologies at the same time. The Great War Western Front tries to be as close to historical reality as possible, and for that reason the developer worked together with the Imperial War Museum in London to improve the game. This real-time strategy game has been available since the 23rd of March this year. Spellforce. Conquest of EO. I just replayed the HD edition of Heroes of Might and Magic 3 for a while and thought, man, I miss these type of games. No fear, on this list are two titles that will bring the fantasy strategy genre into 2023, starting with Spellforce Conquest of EO. Here you play as a powerful mage set to conquer the world of EO, either with your armies led by stalwart heroes, your spells, or a combination of both. Even though developer owned by Gravity is not a AAA studio, this last edition in the Spellforce series looks stunning. It is a great combination of RPG, fantasy, turn-based combat and grand strategy. Spellforce Conquest of EO has been out since February 3rd of this year to great and positive acclaim. Age of Wonders 4. Next to Spellforce you have the last addition to the Age of Wonders series, Age of Wonders 4. Developed by Dutch studio Triumph, I as a fellow cloggy am a little bit proud of this game. You may also know the developers from the Overlord series. Age of Wonders 4 is a turn-based fantasy 4x grand strategy game. One fellow YouTuber described the game as a more fun version of Civilization, and I concur. I'm a great Civilization fan, but Age of Wonders 4 offers somewhat more entertainment. It does have the same just one more turn appeal at the very least. A colorful world, all for you to explore, build and conquer with brute force, diplomacy and magic. Lots of magic. Age of Wonders 4 is available since May 2nd of this year. Pharao, A New Era. A remake of the great historical city builder set in ancient Egypt. Originally released in the late 90s by Shera, Pharao A New Era was part of a genre of games where you could build a city in the classical period. Not only Egypt but ancient Greece and Rome as well. I remember the Greece version playing well into the early morning. I'm finding out my roommates had done the same with the same game. Shera was one of the OGs when it comes to gaming, having developed such classics as Leisure Suit Larry and Space Quest. You start with a small, not very impressive city and end up building magnificent palaces, sphinxes and of course the giant pyramids. All DLCs of the original game have been included. Now Pharao A New Era in all honesty has received some mixed reviews. Some think it is a great remake, others think it is somewhat mediocre. But if you're looking for a fun, historical city builder to kill a couple of hours, it's a safe bet. The game has been available since February the 15th. Total War Pharao. And we're staying in ancient Egypt with this next entry in the Total War series, Total War Pharao. This is the first time you can actually play ancient Egypt in the series. Well, you can in the Rome games, but there Egypt is ruled by the Macedonic or Greek Ptolemy dynasty. Now you've got ancient Egypt all in its glory for yourself. Total War Pharao is set right about the period of the Bronze Age collapse, also known as the start of the Classical Dark Age, or 8th century BC. During that period, many ancient civilizations collapsed. Well, it takes place around the time the legend of Troy was set, caused by either natural disasters or the invasions of a mysterious people just called the Sea Peoples. You can lead famous ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians themselves or the Hittites, one of the first people who started using iron, unite them and face these threats head on. The game will feature everything you expect from a Total War title: developing your cities, building your armies, diplomacy, dealing with rebellious factions at home, and of course real-time battles. Lots of battles. The weather and the desert will play an important role in all of this. During battle you may have to deal with heavy rain or sandstorms. Total War Pharao will be released in October of this year. City Skylines 2. The first City Skylines, released in 2014, was a fun and excellent surprise after the disappointing SimCity, which had set the standard before when it comes to city builders. Well, the only thing that was holding me back as a newbie was not getting your road network completely gridlocked. That was somewhat of a challenge. That is almost 10 years ago, so we're eagerly awaiting the second entry, City Skylines 2. The sequel promises to improve on everything that was good in the first game, but more, bigger and better. You will have almost endless abilities in growing your small town to a thriving metropole. And apparently there's ample opportunity to install and use various mods to enhance the game however you see fit. The developers are very mod friendly. So if you want to develop your own mod, go ahead. City Skylines is available on October the 24th. Manor Lords, a medieval city builder combined with real-time strategy and realistic large-scale battles. What's not to love? Manor Lords is one of the most hyped-up strategy games of the last couple of years. You get to build a medieval town from scratch and in time turn it into a prosperous city, castle included. But that's not all. Next to that you have to defend your territory or expand it using realistic medieval armies. The developer has used the 14th century as a point of inspiration. It all looks and reminds me very much of the best that Total War can offer, when it comes to the actual battles themselves. The graphics of Manor Lords look stunning as well. On the games on this list it comes closest to photorealism from what I saw. Manor Lords should be available this year 2023, but I wouldn't be surprised if the actual release date is somewhere in 2024. Farthest Frontier. And the final city builder on this list, Farthest Frontier, is another medieval city builder with a slight twist. You lead a band of peasants dissatisfied with their callous and uncaring noble rulers to the edge of the known world and try to build a new prosperous town. Seems all simple and familiar enough. You start building your town, roads and try to get enough resources for your people. But it can be a tough and unforgiving place for your settlers. Depending on the difficulty level, you may have to deal with natural disasters, disease or outside invaders. Developer Crate, who you may know from the action RPG Grim Dawn, a Diablo lookalike, quite fun, has made the game available in early access for some time now. The exact full release date of Farthest Frontier isn't known as of yet. King's Orders. Also a medieval strategy game with a unique and original twist. Instead of building and leading armies yourself, as one would do in such a game, you instead order them around by sending messengers, hence the name King's Orders. These messengers are carrying your orders. Sending and receiving messages of current events will take time and are not without risk. Your general in the field may have gained an important victory, But you may never know, because the messenger was intercepted and captured by the enemy. As I've said, a unique twist to the strategy genre. It will be quite interesting to see how these game mechanics will actually pan out, and if this is going to be in a small niche or an unexpected hit. A release date of the King's Orders isn't known as of yet. Company of Heroes 3. One of the bigger titles on here, Company of Heroes 3 is a famous World War II game with detailed tactical battles in real time. This time set in the Mediterranean theater of war. Play with either the Allies or Axis forces across the sweeping, piping hot deserts of North Africa or the beautiful valleys in Italy. You can play either a campaign or individual skirmishes. Now, while the action takes place in breathtaking real time, you need to adjust your tactics according to your surroundings. No blundering in full attack mode if you don't want your tanks ambushed and blown up like matchboxes. So use your scouts. Company of Heroes 3 has been available since February the 23rd and is a must-have for any World War II aficionado. Jagged Alliance 3. And last but certainly not least, Jagged Alliance 3. The original Jagged Alliance games were a hit in the late 90s and a sequel has been promised for years. And now it's finally here. Jagged Alliance 3 is a turn-based tactical wargame with RPG elements, much in the same vein as the classic XCOM games. You lead a select group of specialized mercenaries trying to liberate the fictional country of Grand Chien, that is in the hands of a merciless group called the Legions after a coup where the president of Grand Chien disappeared. It's your job to find this president and in various missions expand your territory, recruit new mercenaries, train militia and defend your lands as well. This is all done with entertaining, colorful and challenging turn-based battles, the type of battles that were the strong point of the original games. Jagged Alliance is coming soon on Friday, July the 14th or 14 juillet, so a great date for a game of Libération. In my next couple of videos I will be taking a good look at two RPGs I haven't made a review about, namely Elden Ring and first The Witcher 3. If you like this type of content, hit the like and subscribe button and see you in the next video.